I had to be out of the box. And I feel like that really helps being an artist today.
Oh, yeah.
It really helps you because the conformity of being fit into a box, you know, some people may be okay to paint a face on and go out to work and go do their thing. And they come home and they take the mask off and they do their stuff. But I don't like wearing a mask ever. And
Yeah,
so,
bro.
you know, like
Authentic, bro. Authentic.
when I was at the Kind Winter Gala, it was a great event, right? And the only thing was that where they had picked the venue was the Art Gallery of Ontario. We were the pre-roll sponsor, so you know people were supposed to be walking around handing out joints. But when we got there, AGO changed their mind, or maybe they didn't ever. But whatever it was, no cannabis on site. So we're at a cannabis industry event, but there's no cannabis on site. Free bar though for alcohol.
Oh, it's a drinking event.
It's a drinking event. So again, for me, like I'm standing there and you know, even to dress up in a suit and tie, it's not really me, but I'll do it. You know, like I'll take my wife out and for like it'd be nice to go. And Ben was gracious enough that we met him out there with Vanessa, his wife, and we had a great night. But I felt it was the first time in this industry since I've started that I felt like I might have to put a mask on right now to get through this because it just was so out of my norm being in an alcohol, you know, only setting. And it was funny enough, I seen Sam and his daughter from Sticky Nugs, right?
Oh, you found the real ones.
We found, but it was like magnets. Eh? We just I seen Sam. I'm like, Sam, what's the chances you want to go out and smoke a joint? He's like, whenever you're ready. And that's what we did. We spent more time outside.
Yep.
And you know, it was supposed to be this private pre-roll lounge. When we got outside, it was a sidewalk, and then the security comes out and was like, no, you guys have to stay in like 50 feet down the road.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? In an alleyway, basically, right? And it's just it's that term that, you know, I always hear you and Blunts and Beans talk about, dignified consumption.
Yes, sir. Apparently, I gave Blunts and Beans Alexis credit for that, but apparently she learned it from Amanda Breeze.
Oh, there you go.
Who's also a part of the team for Can Expo this next year coming up. So good people all around here, full circle. But we're all here spreading this message together. So now you carry that message as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
listen, I learned all about it, and then after I was thinking about it,
that's too bad about your experience, though. We got love for Kind for sure, but sometimes it's choices like that make you think like, okay, you're out of touch with like the core root of this, the cultural values. Like that's when you start to see something get too big for their own good.
Sometimes though, I got to think, you know, Kind's been very kind to us. I actually think that Kind tailored the event around who was actually going to the event in the majority, because the majority of the people were there were executives.
So they don't even...
They were very corporate,
Well,
so I don't think
problem,
they actually
though.
consume cannabis.
So that's the problem, though, then. So for me, it's like you cornered them all in one room. Great. Like, okay, let's have a conversation about this. That's weird to hear. The gala last year was pretty poppin'. It was at that Grand Bazaar place.
Okay, yeah.
And like it was a lot of people from the industry that and there was a lot of great connections actually made that night. It seemed like that was kind of the magic hour of that, you know, space, because as the industry evolves, relationships are made, bills got to get paid. But it's like the priority though at a weed event should be one of them,
right?
Weed.
100%.
No, so I mean, what's the most common form of weed? Sure, you can, you know, sneak in a Sweet Justice, you know, or if you want, but like, you can't even make it like a semi. Like not even, I'm not even asking for like a full couch, but like, damn, like there should be like, wow, let's lose it here and throw a couple chairs in.
Well, you know, when you're talking about an event with an open bar,
that's fucked.
Why isn't there any sheesh soda? You know, why isn't there any teapot?
There wasn't.
No, man, it was an open bar of alcohol.
So that's just not.
I waited.
Like,
I don't
fuck with
man.
that.
I waited a half
drink.
an hour in line. I finally get up there, and then the guy says, "What do you want?" I said, "Man, I just want a ginger ale because I got pasties because I've been outside smoking. You know,
actually
with
being
the
a stoner.
stoners. Yeah, so that was the only time where I felt like I might have to actually put on a mask here because I just felt like a fish out of water.
They're just sucking the suit's cock with the fucking alcohol there for sure, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, here, come be comfortable at this, but it breeds the wrong type of connection. I think that cannabis, if you're partaking in the business and you want the business to go well, it benefits you to understand the culture. And the culture of cannabis is a lot more calm. A relationship like Ben and Wallace will come from cannabis because you almost go into your feelings and you feel life, and you allow the trajectory of your next moves in the business to be affected by your intuition, and like that's led by the sensitivity to who's going to receive this, what community will support. Like the boxes are all checked when you allow this other edge of almost, I'm going to call it emotional intelligence, to operate while networking. And the reason why I think some cannabis brands are just kind of like still jerking money into the ether, because they're not thinking where it's going to land, because they have no clue, because they're waiting on a database to tell them about their demographics, because they're not actually participating. So it's like when you say, you're basically telling me, you're like, I'm the only real motherfucker in the room. Like at a weed event.
No, Ben was there.
And Sam was there.
and Sam was there.
I know there were some real motherfuckers, but it's like, okay, either everyone's playing along wearing a mask, or everyone hasn't really dug as deep. And I'm not judging drinkers again. Like, I think, sure, go party. But like specifically at a cannabis, something I know that cannabis paid the rent on.
100%.
Right? Like, you should at least throw a fucking ode up, throw a shrine in the corner. You just figure out some way for like those who are the real deal want to spend their night. So that's too bad to hear that, and I hope that it starts to evolve in a clearer direction. But knowing the inside of it, it probably won't.
You know, when you talk about stigma, though, I mean, you know, like
you're still treating me like a fucking got to go smoke crack in the alley with fucking crackhead McGee here.
You know what I mean? Like, well, like, okay, so being the pre-roll sponsor, they have pre-rolls on a platter, and you know, in the event, it's supposed to be 19 and older, right? Like, again, it's to keep it out of the youth. People were walking around, and they'd be handing out joints, and it would say Primeau on it or trees on it, and people would know, okay, that these are the sponsors. They get to try out your product. These are people. It's a very corporate B2B setting, right? So like if you want to network and someone go, oh wow, this is really nice. I didn't know you grew something like this, and you're interested in doing a B2B model, which is business to business, where you're going to grow for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic networking event.
Yeah.
However, when there's no cannabis involved,
Jesus.
You could go to someone like, hi, my name's Wallace. I grow fantastic chronic. They're going to go, yeah, nice to meet you. You know, like
no cannabis on site.
No cannabis on site.
Are you fucked? Wasn't it at the art gallery?
It was at the art gallery. So
art and weed go together like.
And I don't know who owns the art gallery. Is it the city?
It's
got to be government owned.
It got to be.
It's got to be. Like I would think so. Maybe I'm incorrect, but
fuck. That's funny, dude. So like, that's wax.
Everybody there is a legal producer. You know what I mean? It's a cannabis industry event.
Was everyone more nervous? Because think about how many people are there who might even watch this and be like, yeah, I wanted to smoke a joint, but I just had too much anxiety about being judged. And because that situation and that classic
you were the black sheep. If you went to go smoke weed at that event, you know, like, believe me when I say I was a fish out of water, there was plenty of fishes there swimming and being comfortable, and you know what I mean, like drinking, and it was their scene. Whereas for me, you know, wearing a suit and tie is one thing. I like to go out, sure, whatever, but I'm more comfortable like this. I like to wear a hoodie and a toque, and I'm smoking my joint, and we're shooting the shit, and we can actually just be people.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of peacocks going around at the show,
and that's where you're basically just wasting time. Like you're just flailing your ego and like using this event to like try and muster up some sort of self-gratification, and that's just like, just go to a bar then. Like go, like you can go to any bar, but like I feel like in the industry there's opportunities missed like that, and what I want to see is what I'm basically trying to evolve and change with my events is bring the focus, you know, into something where we can all participate and vibe out together, and like the frequency is forthcoming and, you know, connective. And there's special groups that I did as a music artist, like Rise out of Scarborough. You know, there's almost a sacredness to when we gather, and that's very based in art and expression, and you know, there's a community support there. And I think from what I see of the cannabis like culture community, not like the industry community, but the culture community, basically if you went to Lyft outside was, you know, that's
happening.
where it really was, right? So it's like all the B2B stuff inside Lyft, it was a waste of investment, anyone basically, to even step foot inside the Metro Convention Center.
I was there in a booth.
I know. I'm sorry.
and I missed it.
We came and saw you. We loved you. We good to see you. But I'm just like basically, and so I'm not trying to throw shade or shots at like all these things.
For sure.
I commend everyone, Kind and Lyft and all these people for being the basically pioneers, and you're gonna take a lot on the chin.
100%, and they really
appreciate that.
They really are pioneers. I mean, like Kind throws amazing events. I mean,
what's all important?
Don't get me wrong. The
Everyone's
gala
playing their role, but to what we were saying though, it was outside. Like, what's the community really saying? Like, not this little bullshit inside song and dance. Who got the bigger company? Or like what the fuck?
Yeah,
let's get back to the hang.
No, there was a reason why the majority of the night I was outside smoking. Like I said, it was phenomenal. Like you should have, when you walked into the place, it was a beautiful setting.
The food was good.
The food was the food. I was trying to look for the food. The appetizers were coming past me. I got a couple little things. The food that I got was phenomenal. And it was nice to do that. And fucking thank God when I walked in, and I'm standing there. 'Cause you got to imagine, I'm standing there. I'm just kind of taking a breath, looking around because it's a lot happening. Everybody's in suits. It's a very corporate thing. Everybody's got cocktails and drinking, and I'm kind of going like biting my lip, going like I want to go smoke a joint, but and kind of feel in my element. And I look over and I see Jesse Paul, and he's wearing the pink leopard, and fucking.
He was doing photography?
Yeah, man, he was doing the photography. And so I just went over to Jesse. I was like, thank God you're here, man, because right away, just like, again, I just felt, yeah, man, I just felt so good. And I just gravitated to Jesse all night.